Welcome everybody to How Fast Will It Go, and today we're dealing with the 1996 Ferrari F50 GT. Now this has 1,185 horsepower, 620 pounds-feet of torque from a 6-litre twin-turbocharged V12 engine. It's still rear-wheel drive and it weighs 2,122 pounds, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.882 seconds and 0 to 100 in 6.255 seconds. So yeah, basically a track orientated version of the standard F50, so that's why it's got this massive rear wing on the rear of the car, and obviously a really rather giant front splitter at the front, and yeah, that's why it also weighs so little. And yeah, so that's going to come in handy when dealing with all this amount of power, and hopefully in terms of getting to a good top speed. But it is still only rear wheel drive, and obviously we're in the winter season right now, so that could play up against it. But yeah, plenty of power, not much in the way of weight, and yeah, even though that rear wing is going to limit the top speed, it will hopefully keep the car, down on the ground and not, flying all over the place. So yeah, let's get out there and see what it can do. So yeah, it's got really high RPM limiter, 11,000 RPM, which is probably one of the highest that we've had on this series. And a Golf comes pulling out in front of us, not handy at all. As you can see, really quick in terms of acceleration, even as we're going past 200 mile an hour. It's 220, 230, 240, 245. Went slightly off track there. But yeah, we're already looking like we're going to beat the Aston Martin DBR1 from the previous episode. And there we do. 255, 259, whoa. Yeah, the one big problem with this is obviously the faster you go, the more downforce you have, but then that just makes the car more twitchy to handle, so you have to be very delicate with the controls, but that's pretty hard to do when you're on a controller, because to toggle for all the great things that the controller has on the Xbox, its toggle isn't the best for sensitive steering. There's 261. So yeah, far quicker than the Aston Martin from the previous episode, which I guess is no surprise considering this is newer. And yeah, it's certainly far quicker in terms of acceleration, even when we're going 240 mile an hour. Right, so 261 is what we've gotten on this side of the motorway, so let's get around this roundabout and see what we can do the other side. Certainly sounds really rather good. And yeah, the acceleration is blistering. The fact it doesn't really dip below 8,000 RPM when it changes gear as well is a sure sign of how much power is up on the top end. It's 262. So slightly improved. Another problem with this car is that the brakes are so good on it that it's really hard just to slightly tap the brakes to slightly slow down. You're not tapping them and your brakes really rather hard. There's very little in the way of weight, and the brakes in themselves are really rather good. No more. Oh, just about got 260 there before the roundabout, but yeah, 262 is what we're going to get from this vehicle, which is still really rather good, especially when you consider this is, at the end of the day, a track car with a huge rear spoiler and, other aerodynamic tweaks that are there to help keep the car, down on the ground and as good as handling as possible, and that obviously means, the more downforce you have, the more power you need to get to a certain rate of speed, and it will obviously limit the speed in general. But yeah, 262 is nonetheless impressive. It matches the Noble M600, beats the Eagle Speedster, the Ford GT40 Mark 1, the Aston Martin DB10 and the Jaguar C-Type. It's slightly behind the TVR Cerbera Speed 12, the Jaguar Lightweight E-Type, and quite a way behind the similarly aged Nissan R390, which had a 3 mile an hour higher top, 4 mile an hour top speed than this. But yeah, that's still really rather good. Again, like I said, considering it's got its aerodynamic properties that are there to provide really good handling and not necessarily a really good top speed. But yeah, 262 is still impressive, and yeah, it handled so well as well while dealing with all this extra power and all that extra speed as well, that you really have to doff your cap to the car for it to be able to do all of that while, you know, also dealing with the fact that it's hardly the driest of conditions right now as well. So yeah, really pleased with how that went, and yeah, really rather fun car to drive as well, and sounds really rather good as well. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.